Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ultimate quick guide to Stronghold Net, and SHX. My name is CryptoBanker SHX. For those who are not familiar with myself, I am the SHX Maxi OG. I was the first ever dedicated account to SHX and Stronghold on X and YouTube. And since the summer of 2023, I have been building the SHX Stronghold community. Now, prior to that, I spent over a decade in global banking, advising the C-suite of the world's largest financial organizations and banks in relation to, firstly, growth and technology, and then in the latter half, in regards to regulations. And what I wanted to share with you today is a very quick guide to Stronghold Net, and SHX, but really the reasons behind it, and as to the reasons behind why I have dedicated all of my time to this, and why I believe firmly through my experience and expertise, and have done for a number of years, that Stronghold and SHX will play an integral role in the new financial system. And I'll share those details with you in this presentation. So the mission statement from Stronghold as a business is to provide fast, secure, and accessible financial services for all. Through their developer APIs, they enable access to legacy and next generation payments and financial services. And their platform, Stronghold Net, allows embedded payments and financial services for a seamless user experience in the highest of compliance industries. And they've built the SHX token primarily on the Stellar blockchain. And the reason for that is threefold. Firstly, it's climate friendly, but also it's industry leading as well when it comes to the likes of RWA, so real world assets being brought on chain. Stellar is the industry leader within this. They also are utilized by the likes of WisdomTree, Franklin Templeton, and Circle, who have been utilizing the Stellar blockchain for years now. And it's actually Stellar who have given them the confidence and the guidance to actually carry this out. The third is the speed and the consensus in which Stellar operates. And therefore, there's no surprise in the fact that Stronghold, although they are a business which was formed in 2017, they have already won industry-leading awards and secured that notoriety within the industry for being innovators. And so Stronghold was chosen as the audience favorite in the North America Visa Everywhere competition, which was hosted by TechCrunch. Now, this is back in 2022. And the reason why they won this award was in their innovation in regards to APIs. Now, they're groundbreaking in regards to technology and payments, but also they had a focus as well in relation to their merchant cash advance. So really demonstrating to the industry how DeFi can be utilized in an institutional way, in a business way, to then bring about positive outcomes for their clients. They are also recognized by the Forbes FinTech 50, and this is again back in 2022, alongside innovators like Circle, Stripe, Plaid, and OpenSea. More recently, we've seen them align with Ripple and Coinbase in regards to the Fair Shake organization, and pre-elections actually donate tens of millions of dollars alongside industry giants to, in an attempt, and I would say a successful attempt, to secure crypto-friendly regulations in the US. So really lobbying government officials to bring about that favorable change, which we're seeing in real time now within the US. And how are they having all of this success in such a short space of time? Well, it's down to their interoperability capabilities and their compliance standards. The Stronghold platform, Stronghold Net, enables payments with the highest degree of interoperability and compliance across legacy and modern payment networks, and that is key. They are the bridge between the old and the new. And the way in which they engage the client so much in regards to using the systems and utilizing this technology is making the AI APIs developer friendly, but also flexible interoperability is key here, and customization is key as well. So therefore, their clients, the likes of the US government, for example, all the way down to Bank of America, Coinbase, and those millions of merchants that they have already on Stronghold Net, ready when it goes live, they have all built their own virtual payment networks, which give them advantages of having building on regulatory technology, so hitting those compliance standards and exceeding them, but also having it customizable to them. So therefore, they can start then to potentially write rules for governance for their network. They can then start to issue custom assets on that network as well. But they have that reassurance that the compliance piece is being met. And the way it's being met by Stronghold, and has been for a number of years now, is through their Nature audit, through their SOC 2 Type 2, and through IBM's equivalent of compliance and regulatory framework standards. Now, SOC 2 Type 2, the world's largest exchange, didn't have that recognition until the beginning of last year. So really, when we think about it, and natural audits especially, there's very few crypto companies. In fact, there's only a handful that get this attention when it comes to compliance and regulatory matters, and they welcome it. And therefore, that puts Stronghold Net, but in particular, SHX at the forefront of meeting these new compliance and regulatory standards within crypto. And when regulations pass and come into law, Stronghold have positioned themselves to be one of the most compliant crypto projects in the world. And what sits behind this company really speaks standards, and who sits behind it really speaks volumes, because we have Tammy Camp and Sean Bennett, the co-founders. Now, I would view these people. Tammy is ex Stellar. Sean it was the first developer to issue a stablecoin on the XRPL. And when you start to understand the history behind these two individuals, you realize that what you're dealing with is the Elon Musk level of crypto. Tammy was the ex-head of growth at Stellar, brought 4 million new users to the network when launching. In the space of 2 months, she also worked at Walmart, where she introduced and developed the API offering for them via Staples. And so these people are trailblazers and industry leaders. And what they have done is they've taken what XRP couldn't do and what XLM couldn't do, and they've created Stronghold with the backing of Stellar and Ripple, as well as the backing of industry-leading strategic advisors and investors, as we see in this slide here. And the people that I'd like to focus on just briefly on here are the people from the Bancorp Bank, and it's Frank, the first person on the list in regards to strategic advisors. Now, back in 2017, Tammy and Sean met with Frank to discuss potentially the Bancorp Bank becoming a client. And once Frank heard exactly what they were doing and understood it, he actually went one step further and decided to invest his own personal money into the business. He then went back to the board of the Bancorp Bank and shared what he'd found in relation to Stronghold, and brought about another 2 board members and the other founder of the Bancorp Bank on board. And so this team of strategic advisors and investors for Stronghold has been in place for at least the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And these people have been using their influence within the industry, pre-regulations, to ensure that Stronghold and Stronghold Net and SHX is best positioned when regulations passed, to allow Stronghold to be the gateway for the US adoption of crypto en masse. And so the connections go very deep once you look into the Bancorp Bank. They are original strategic investors within Stronghold from 2017. BlackRock own the majority share. There's no surprise there. But also the most interesting point, I think, personally for myself, is the fact that Bancorp provide PayPal and Chime all of their customer banking services. So they have a fintech leadership and fintech ecosystem already in existence and have done for a number of years now. And so they're very much well positioned to be able to bring about, as I say, that change and that shift when it comes to crypto introduction to these merchants, businesses, governments, banks, to have the confidence and the history of the confidence as well in regards to regulation compliance, to be able to, as I say, really innovate and adopt as many people onto the blockchain as possible via Stronghold Net. And here you have the key partnerships: IBM, Xspring, Stellar. They have been there from day one. IBM were Stronghold's first client. Now, as a startup, you don't usually get IBM being your first client. What that says to me is that this is a plan made way before 2017. In fact, there's evidence of it being planned many years before that, 2014, maybe prior as well. And back to like even 2011, if you look at the company registrations, etc. But this is a plan that has been put in place many years ago and is now being executed in real time. And that's what we're witnessing now in the US. So when you think of Stronghold, think of Stellar and think of Ripple. Think of XRP going for the banks, XLM going for the retail global money, and then them actually realizing that that's not enough. They need a standalone solution for the US market, the ACH network. And so therefore they created Stronghold to really lead that crypto adoption within the US and be that gateway. And so when we look and see further what has been happening recently when it comes to Natra and ACH, for those of you that don't understand what ACH is, it's actual clearinghouse. So basically, what that means is the volume that's going through the ACH network is around $80 trillion a year in the US alone. And it's only going to grow, and it's only been growing exponentially over the last number of years. Now, they have to modernize that network. And who have they chosen to modernize that network? In my opinion, it is Stronghold, it is Stronghold Net. It is really providing that bridge between the old and the new, but in a way that gives companies, businesses, merchants the confidence to use and engage in the advantages and benefits of crypto without worrying, having been told for many, many years and psyoped into thinking that, it's a scam. Suddenly it's the future, it's here, and it has many, many benefits versus the old systems. So the fact that they have been chosen by Natcha as a preferred partner, it emphasizes the fast and secure and inclusive ACH solutions with the ISO 20022 integration that we're about to see and witness as well. And so they have been chosen to drive that financial access for the ACH network and modernize that network as well. But even more bullish is the fact that they acquired 20022 Labs last year, which is a world leader. They are industry leader in regards to bringing about the ISO 20022 change and being a trusted advisor of governments, banks, and large business to ensure that they have that enhanced capability and that they have that unified vision for innovation. And so, really, Stronghold as a business are in a very powerful position because they have a seat at the table when it comes to ACH, and they are a trusted partner in relation to where they see the industry going and where they want it to go as well. And we see this echoed in their efforts. They were gold sponsors at Natra Online Smarter Faster Payments 2024. This is last year in May. Now, I broke this exclusively on the channel, that they were gold sponsors and attending. But as I say, when they were there, you see they're spelling it out for you. They sponsored the Wi-Fi. It was Stronghold ACH as the password. And then they had pictures at the Federal Reserve stand. Now, as I say, they're kind of spelling it out for you as to where this is going. And it is all down to Stronghold Net. Now, Stronghold Net is the network that utilizes the blockchain technology to really offer that innovation and those features to those participants of the network. It also provides a secure, transparent, and efficient way for users to benefit from those cutting edge capabilities with confidence, given the compliance and regulatory qualifications that Stronghold have acquired as a business and maintain. And this slide here is actually demonstrating the participants of Stronghold Net and really how that would flow, and the interoperability at the bottom in relation to the networks that it speaks to. And what is holding all of this together? What is the utility currency of Stronghold Net? What is the liquidity tool of Stronghold Net? Well, that is SHX. And therefore, you will see all of these participants from various different industries coming together. And from that, as I say, utilizing this groundbreaking technology to really benefit from crypto from day one once regulations become law. And as you'll see at the bottom, you have the Stronghold virtual ledger, but you also have the Stellar network. It's plugged into the XRPL. It's plugged into the US ACH network, processing over $80 trillion a year. You also have the ISO 20022 enhanced payment rails as well. This slide has not changed in the last 4 or 5 years. And the reason behind it is because this has been planned and this has all been in place. Everything is signed. Stronghold as a business have a 100% success rate when it comes to the signing and adoption of Stronghold Net, and have held that for the last 4 or 5 years. So every new client that they sign becomes a member and a participant of Stronghold Net. And who are those people? Who are they working with as a business? Well, IBM, Stellar, Coinbase, JP Morgan, Chase. What are they doing with them? Well, they're building the future of finance. They're building the architecture. That's what they've been doing. So this is from February of last year. Some people laughed at this and said, "Oh, Coinbase isn't built on Stellar." I can tell you that the majority of it is. They helped build Coinbase. They helped build the Flare networks. They helped build JP Morgan coin. Like, Stronghold are major players in building the financial infrastructure part. And what is the financial infrastructure? What is that gateway? Well, it's Stronghold Net. So all roads lead to Stronghold Net. And here we see the features and customers of Stronghold Net. We have consumers, merchants, and technology SaaS providers. And this is just, I suppose, the original blueprint for Stronghold Net. Once we have regulations, you'll see a number of features come about. We also have the governance voting, so therefore we have a proposal platform for the community to submit ideas in regards to the changes that they would like to see, and then it goes out to a community vote. But we have SHX rewards, soon to be retail, so therefore any holders of SHX like you or I will be able to actually participate in those rewards, not just the clients, the merchants, the businesses, the banks, the VCs, the governments all participating in Stronghold Net will be able, as holders, to be able to take advantage of that as well. You have the merchant financing, which again is DeFi funded, so it's cash advances based upon a client's payment history as opposed to traditional credit reporting, because like traditional banks, they'll use traditional credit reporting. If you're a new business, you maybe don't have enough history to therefore meet their criteria. But because Stronghold are processing a client's and a merchant's payments, they can see how much money is coming to the business, and therefore they can be more comfortable in regards to potentially offering them that decentralized finance cash advance, because they know that they can then take the loan repayments out of the money that is already coming into the business. And then payments, enabling access to legacy and next-gen payments through a simple API. And so the use cases and the progress that we've seen, the rewards was launched in 2022. We've seen a real engagement with that, and that continues to provide that stickiness that you need for clients to keep coming back to Stronghold and Stronghold Net. You have the DeFi piece, which I think, again, will expand into whereby holders like yourselves and me can actually take part in that DeFi piece and the governance and the grants as well. So the voting in the ecosystem, the governance system is already in place. Strongholders really decide the future of the network and the future of SHX. And here's the progress. We had the Treasury escrow, so 60 billion of SHX has already been locked up. That was confirmed last year. It was confirmed last week. Steady. It was confirmed last week, and that is locked up for the next 5 years at least, so to 2030 a minimum. We have the member-driven governance, which again the community is taking part in those votes for that change or any changes, potential changes to SHX and Stronghold Net, and the ISO 20022 expansion, which is driving global adoption with 20022 Labs integration, which, as I say, Stronghold acquired the industry global leader on ISO 20022 integration and expansion. And here is just a demonstration in relation to their industry leading and award-winning APIs, because they are constantly enhancing the ecosystem. They are constantly improving the key features, listening to client feedback, really trying to make it as flexible and customizable as possible, while really still having that developer focus as well. And so, like I say, this is all designed and meant to create ease when it comes to crypto and blockchain adoption in the US. Now, they've had this in place for the last 5 years. And when we see this go live fully, I think that's when things change for Stronghold Net and especially SHX, because Stronghold have a partnership with the largest venture capital firms in the US, meaning every dollar transacted through the Stronghold payment method by top venture capital funds will earn SHX rewards. When you start to delve into who these people are, who these venture capital firms are, who they own, if, for example, you look at Kraft, they are involved with X, formerly known as Twitter, Meta, SpaceX, Uber, Airbnb. Do you not think for the last 4 or 5 years that these venture capital firms, have been utilizing their influence to make sure that every single business that they have invested in is a participant within the Stronghold Net network to earn those SHX rewards? I think they might be. Also, just touching upon the merchant financing piece. Now, SHX has and Stronghold Net has participants who take part in this. And really, as I explained, it's based upon a client's payments volume and what they are taking in as a business, as opposed to traditional credit reporting like traditional banks would use. And that means that they can fund startups and aid growth for their clients. And this is a demonstration in regards to how that DeFi merchant financing works and the flow of funds. And as you'll see that Stronghold are at sponsored banks, they have rolling settlement in ACH capabilities, on-ramp, off-ramp. And you'll see that, as I say, there is an opportunity to be a DeFi capital contributor. Here we have the flow of funds that could potentially what it would look like in the future. And you have that repayment as a gateway to SHX payments and rewards for retail as well. So again, just demonstrating that in the future, you could potentially, as a holder, be a DeFi contributor and earn SHX rewards from staking your SHX within that DeFi program as well, which then, as I say, aids the growth of their clients' customers. And so, again, just demonstrating that this merchanting financing pilot, which they launched in 2022, and they're only giving us the data from 2022. There isn't any data up until modern day. I don't think they want to share it because it's too positive. So as you'll see, the growth on this is insane. What it looks like now is probably it's under NDAs. They don't really want to share who is potentially using this. It probably has expanded beyond what we can know or comprehend. But it's all very, very positive, and it demonstrates not only that you that SHX is not reliant upon whether or not someone buys it for a certain price. This is real world utility that we're witnessing, and it actually enables the growth of the clients and the participants of the network. You have the promotion product success here. You can see that they can run campaigns, merchants, and then from that, really experience advantages not only in relation to how they handle and their operations money, but also for their customers and the spend limit that the average order value that they're experiencing from their customers. You also have the same day ACH as well, which again is groundbreaking for businesses to be able to access money instantly. And that's where I believe Stronghold lies. And by believing and understanding that Stronghold Net is the gateway to US crypto adoption and blockchain technology, this is from August 2023 when I first started out. And it seems that SHX Stronghold Net is strategically positioned to be the perfect solution in terms of a participant of X crypto payments, X money, which we're about to see launch in the US. Whether or not it is firstly listed or whether it comes on later, having built up that liquidity, because as I say, we're just about to witness some listings on tier ones like Kraken, Coinbase, for example. This is where Stronghold will come into its own. And by 2030, Stronghold will be a household name. So, as I say, it wouldn't surprise me. I do believe that it will happen, in my own personal opinion. And SHX will be one of those currencies that's available on X Money. When you think about X being the everything app as well, then people will treat it like Google and treat it like retail, and there'll be shops within that. You start to think about the promotion features and things to start to become even clearer, rewards programs, etc., the interoperability, the compliance standards it meets. It's really much aligned strategically to be a key player within X Money. Also, when you look at Flare networks, if you're into XRP and into your Flare network, then Stronghold as a business built the Flare networks or helped to build Flare networks. And this, again, is back from, I think, 2021, 2022, when they first started working with them. And so the last piece is the governance piece for SHX. And here we have the demonstration in relation to the community voting. So if you are a holder, you can actually bring about change within the network. The first vote was on MCA fee burning, which is the merchant cash advance fee. So when a client or participant of Stronghold Net takes that merchant cash advance, there is a fee associated with that. 70% of that fee gets burnt in SHX. So now SHX is deflationary. There are 100 billion SHX max supply, and circulating is just under 16 billion or around 16 billion. They are yet to update the figures on all of the exchanges to reflect the correct numbers. I can only speculate the reason for that is because they really wanted to put people off. They didn't want people's eyes on this. I know that pretty much for a fact because I've been here since the beginning, since there was hardly anyone speaking about it and there was no community. And from building the community up, I know that, as I say, there's certain things that have been sort of flagged in the past. And there's no reason why it shouldn't reflect the true numbers. I think that will change in the next week. I think once you go onto the likes of tier ones, everything will be unified. And therefore, then that will be finally put to bed in relation to what is the correct circulating supply. But I can tell you it's around 15, 16 billion. If you go on to CoinMarketCap and you click the blue tick, you'll be able to actually see those correct numbers. And I will share them on my X after this video as well as a reference point for the community. But the governance vote too was on public governance venue and where the community can sort of come together and put proposals together for a discussion. So therefore, we have the power as strongholders to submit proposals to Stronghold on SHX and Stronghold Net in relation to changes that we think would benefit us and the ecosystem. And from that, then they get discussed if they get up for a vote, and then we would say yes or no. And then from that, Stronghold would implement that it was decided by the community that that was something that we would like to progress with. So the third vote was Stronghold Net API prioritization. And that's really prioritizing the APIs for US bank distributed ledger SHX settled USD payments, which is launching this year and will be massive. And then the government vote 4 was governance rules adoption. So really an approved foundational SHX governance rules for implementation in 2025. That's around the proposals. What are the rules behind it? How do we then bring about that to go to a main vote? And really what this demonstrates is the fact that when you're a holder, you actually have a say within the network, which I think is so important. And it shows that this isn't just a standalone product. It's all interlinked, and it is planned to be, as they say, a household name by 2030. And where do I think, in terms of a price point, this is going? I've always said since I started, and when SHX was at 0.0004, a $2 million market cap, and no one was speaking about it, that it would hit $3.33. And I still firmly believe that. I believe that so much so that actually today I am starting a live show which will broadcast Monday to Saturday, and it is the road to 333 for SHX. So I will be doing a live show on X and YouTube every day, Monday to Saturday, starting from today until SHX hits that $3.33, and then I will disappear forever. I hope you found this insightful and useful. If you are new to SHX, welcome. As I say, I think that the opportunity here is decreasing by the day, because we're about to witness things like tier 1 listings, things that, as I say, we've been waiting for years, and Stronghold have been very, very cautious within the market not to get any attention from the SEC. Not that they were doing anything wrong, but they have had a very much compliance and regulatory approach to everything. And once, as I say, that regulation is comes into law, then you will witness the full force of SHX and Stronghold Net being rolled out. You're going to witness the flip of the switch moment. And when that happens, it'll be like nothing we've ever seen before. My name's CryptoBanker SHX. I hope you can join me for the live shows every day. There will be a live chat on YouTube, a live chat room forum for the community. I'll also be getting community members to come up and talk as well as special guests on the weekend show, on the Saturday show every week. I look forward to experiencing this journey with you guys. You're all awesome, and yeah, we're going to the moon.